has also now climbed all the way up to the 4th spot in the East after winning 12 of their last 13. And now the one and only Knicks superfan, Michael Rappaport, is joining us now. Mike, I guess I've known you for the last, 3 years on this show. You've been waiting for this moment. Yeah. Are the Knicks for real?
The Knicks are definitely for real. And I've come on this show and I've articulated my pain, my agony. I left. It's been rough. We've had Jeff Hornacek as a coach. We had Kurt Rambis somehow, some way as a coach. We had Derek Fisher as a coach. We have a bluesman, a blues guitar player as an owner who humiliated one of the most beloved figures in New York sports, Charles Oakley. We've dealt with all of that. I've dealt with all of that. My father, the fans of New York have dealt with all of that. But the pandemic, people were saying that New York was dead for the last 20 years. They were saying that the New York Knicks were gone. They were done. It wasn't a cool place to play anymore. It's shocking to me. It's shocking to everybody. But the Knicks are for real. They're in the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference. They won 12 out of 13 games. I'll say it again. 12 out of 13 games. They're not scared to play anybody. They're not impressed with anybody. They believe in each other. Okay. They're not on Instagram. They're not worrying about playing tournaments because they secured their playoff spot. Okay. They're not complaining about playoff games. They're a workman-like team with Julius Randle, who is not a flashy player. He is in full bloom. He is in full bloom. He's not a human highlight film. He's not a crossover guy. He's not a dunker. He's the leader. And this team resonates the same way the great teams of the 70s, the championship team, resonated with New York, and the same way the 90s Knicks resonated because they play with their head down. They're not complaining. They're not flashy. They're underappreciated, and they're underdogs. This is almost like the Rocky Balboa of the NBA. And in my opinion, this Knicks team winning 12 out of 13 is the greatest story in sports we have going right now. And nobody, Joel Embiid, okay, the Nets, the Atlanta Hawks, whoever sneaks into the 8th seed, nobody wants to face the New York Knicks in a playoff tournament, in a 7-game series, because they play hard every single night. There's no big three. They call themselves the Big 15. And it's great to see. And I'll say it again. I'm shocked. I am shocked that they won the last 12 out of 13. I am shocked that they've been so consistent, so gritty this year. Their starting lineup, for the most part, is Elfrid Payton, R.J. Barrett, Nerlens Noel, Reggie Bullock, and Julius Randle. This is like the island of broken toys, okay? No one would have expected this team 12 of the last 13 games, but they've done it, and they've done it in a great New York way. And like I said, when people were saying New York is dead, New York is back, and Knicks basketball is back, and we deserve it. New York Knicks fans deserve it, and they are making the Garden cool. When those stars said, we're not coming to New York, it's not a cool place. Well, now it's a cool place, and it's setting the temperature going forward. And thank God we deserve it. Knicks fans deserve it.
First of all, I need you to slow down a bit, okay? You speeding. Right now, you're going like 85 and a 35, which will get you a major citation. They're actually going to take you to jail for that. Second of all, could you win a first round series if you get Atlanta, which is the 5 seed currently? Yes, you can beat them, but that's where the buck stops. You're not beating Milwaukee. You're not beating Philly. You're not beating the Brooklyn Nets. And you talk about, we don't celebrate anything. First of all, when you haven't eaten in a long time, you don't complain about the meal that you get. You're just happy that you got a meal. Just be happy you're in the playoffs. You over there talking about, we gonna win a ring. You're not winning anything, Michael Rappaport, okay?
Excuse me, sir. I didn't say anything about rings. Yesterday, you were in tears almost. I almost saw you shed a tear about a play-in tournament.
That's beneath us.
About a play-in tournament, man. We ain't worried about a play-in tournament. We're on the road right now. We made the Rockets look like the G League team they are. John Morant got ejected from the game because they play tenacious defense. They play gritty defense. They play as a team with a bunch of guys, aside from Julius Randle. I mean, John Morant got thrown out of the game last night. Taj Gibson was out of the league. He was out of the league. Nerlens Noel has been on every single team in this. He started the trust the process thing. We never thought we would have done it. Thibodeau was like a mad scientist. And I'll say it for a third time. If you guys ever thought in my wildest dreams that in May of 2021, I thought I would come on here to gloat and to be happy about the New York Knicks.
Exactly.
I never thought it. And this is a team with soul. This is a team with heart. This is a team with grit. And it's a team that represents the 5 boroughs, unlike that soulless big 3 out there in Brooklyn who can't even figure out what lineup they're going to start every single night. You think they want to come to the Garden and play against the New York Knicks? I'm telling you, this is like a baby 90s New York Knicks team. They're a freight train, and it's the greatest story in sports right now. And I don't know why you're talking about a team that may not get into the playoffs every single day, Shannon. You need to focus your energy, diversify your thoughts, because your guys might not even make it into the playoffs, let alone that play-in tournament.
Let's give speak. He tired of talking about that freight train. Y'all a caboose. Y'all ain't no train. You're a caboose.
Shannon, you do not want me to speak because I will publicly admit I am with Michael Rappaport
Of course you are.
on this.
Of course you are.
The New York Knicks are finally legit. They have a real head coach who coaches and teaches defense at the highest level. They are ranked 4th in defensive efficiency, and they're starting to threaten Utah for 3rd in defensive efficiency. How your Lakers are still first, I don't know.
Who first?
I don't know how.
Us.
Yeah, okay, fine. But you've got a Julius Randle. Listen, I thought you undersold him, Michael. He's 24, 10, and 6. Those are all career highs. I think he's a legit star in this league. He's shooting
100%.
43% from 3. Julius Randle, are you kidding? R.J. Barrett is a nice complimentary star. And then who is this guy, Derrick Rose, coming off your bench every night and scoring 17, 18, 20 points? He's only 32. I thought he'd been in the league like 17 years. It feels like he's older than LeBron is, but he is playing young. So it's legit. You will beat Atlanta in the first round, and I wouldn't doubt it if you took Philly to maybe 7 games in round 2 of the playoffs.
I got ice tray. If they play the Hawks, I got ice tray.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll take some of that.
You can take your whatever you want on the tray. You're going to need a medical tray. Listen, I like Ice Tray. He's underrated. I don't know why he's not on those top under 25 lists. The Atlanta Hawks ain't beating the New York Knicks in the Garden.
No.
One of the biggest tragedies is they haven't been able to pack it up for the greatest fans in the world, in the greatest, most famous sports arena, in the Garden, and the Garden will be eaten. Trust me, in the playoffs, the Garden will be eaten once again. And we ain't worried about the second round, Shannon. See, this is why you're jumping into finals. You're jumping into Western Conference Finals. That's why you're worried about a play-in tournament. We put our head down. We treat every game like it's an important game. We ain't resting players. Julius Randle plays the most minutes in the NBA. And let's talk about Julius Randle. He's beyond the most improved player in the league. I don't think that award is worthy of him. He's definitely an NBA of a second teamer, if not maybe a first teamer. If you really want to get down to the nuts and bolts, he should absolutely be in the MVP conversation. It's a beautiful thing for New York City. And like I said, New York deserves it. And this is a team that represents New York. Okay, this is a team that represents everything that is great about New York. Hard-nosed, tough, workmanlike, with a little flash, just like those 70 Knicks with Earl the Pearl and Walt Clyde Frazier in the backcourt. This is a great story. This is a great, tough, hard-nosed team. And if you think Joel Embiid wants to come to New York for a 7-game series, you're crazy.
Okay. So one last question, and I'm serious about this. Are you sure you want your Knicks to win big? Because you're going to lose your sympathy card. You won't be able to cry about your Knicks anymore.
Listen, if I didn't want them to win big, they're going to win big. They don't listen. They're not listening to me. They're not listening to you guys respectfully. They're not listening to Jenny, the MVP. They're not listening to any of the noise. They're listening to their coach. They're listening to each other. They love playing with each other. They love playing in New York. And it's great. We are New York, and we love basketball. And if you're going to come in here, you better be 10 feet tall.
Oh, Mike, you have stayed loyal
Yep.
to those Knicks over the last couple of years. You could not have come any closer to the screen there. You got your points. Well received. We appreciate your time. Always great to have you, and we will check in very soon. Listen up, guys. Deion Sanders had a strong reaction to the NFL draft. You need to hear what he had to say about it next.